All right, good morning, everyone. I promised the team that I'm not going to go too long because I went way too long last time. And yes, I know a lot of people appreciate that. Not only that, but I'm dealing with the sore throat. I'm just recovering right now, so it's not going to last too long anyways. So, as Karina mentioned, my name is Naveen Nigam. We do have the agenda here as well. For anyone who's interested in knowing what we're going to be doing all day, as she mentioned, it is jam-packed. So like I said, we're going to try to be really quick and move forward. Head of developer ecosystems. The big thing here with North America is if you're not familiar, there are multiple programs that we run. GDG is the most prominent and the largest one with the most scope. But we have other programs that throughout this day, you will actually hear about the other programs as well. And what I wanted to do just to share was how the team is spread around and how they're supporting all the different programs as well. So we have Kyle, who's actually, Kyle's back there. Yes, by all means. He is the regional lead for the Google Developer Experts Program, Developer Student Clubs Program, our broader community groups, and cloud initiatives run across North America. Then we have Kubra, who you're going to hear a lot from all day. Kubra is actually running the overall GDG program and Women Tech Maker program. And so she's the regional lead for all of you, the GDG organizers. Now, this year, we've actually doubled down on another audience segment that we haven't done a lot with in North America, and that's the entrepreneurs. And so in Canada, just this year, we've actually started an accelerator program, and we have a startup ecosystem lead for Canada that looking at all touch points that Google has with startups. And so this is a big thing for us. We're really excited. Ashley's not here with us today, but this is something that she's going to be looking at as well. And kind of in news, we're looking for someone to do the same thing in the US right now too. So it's open headcount that we're looking for someone full-time to help us build out our communication and our reach out to startups and entrepreneurs across North America. Now, the heavy lifting, the folks that actually do all the work, not the rest of us, the ones who do everything. We have Madhusha Kure, who is a community manager. He's also not here, who helps on the GDE and DSC front. Danielle, who supports DSC as well. Karina, who you saw earlier. She's working with GDG and cloud initiatives. Carly, this event and all the events across North America. Carly is the backbone of these events. So she's in the back corner over there trying to hide, but she's there. So a huge kudos to her. As we mentioned about us doubling down a little bit more with entrepreneurs, we actually opened up a space in Waterloo, a space dedicated for community events. And this space, we need someone to manage the space and be in charge of the entire space. So we have Diana Gray, who takes care of the space. Now, I always start off with this slide as opposed to leaving it till the end, because I want to make sure it comes off in a very genuine fashion. It is not lost on any of us at Google that you all have families, careers, and other priorities. And you're still taking the time to build something and work on something and lead efforts in the community. And for that, all of us genuinely thank you. A huge thank you from us for taking this initiative and for making this, if not the top priority, but a priority on the list of priorities that you have. So very much so, thank you. Now, some of the boring stuff, but very important. Our code of conduct. You can reach this code of conduct at the link, but I'm going to break it down very simply for everyone. Be excellent to each other. We're all about respect. Even from the tangents of Google, where we talk about respecting the user, respecting the opportunity. And we want to make sure that all of you recognize and acknowledge that. We have a zero tolerance for any harassment of any kind. And that's not just in person while you're here sitting with each other. It also has to do with online. We, as GDG organizers, you're also representing Google. You're also talking on behalf of Google. And for that reason, sometimes people get caught up. It's like, well, no, this was a personal comment that was made, and we acknowledge that and recognize that, but there's a really fine line that are you speaking as an individual, or are you speaking as a GDG organizer? And for that reason, I ask everyone to really consider and think about when they're posting something, when they're saying something, when they're talking to an audience. The community looks up to you. They're looking to seek knowledge from you and gain insight into what's going on. And for that, please be aware of our code of conduct. So if you haven't already seen it, please make sure to visit it and read through the details. Now, our program is successful because we have actually built a very unique framework to the GDG community, and that is leveraging mentors. So if you haven't met your mentor yet, I want to share a little bit about what the mentor program is all about. We are very selective on who we make as GDG mentors in North America. And the GDG mentors are folks who have run GDG communities for a long time. They have run some of our key events like DevFest, which you'll hear more about today as well. They have experience in not only running, one community, but multiple communities and dealing with contentious situations. So they have experience in solving problems that you, as a new organizer, most likely will face. And what we like is that these mentors are region-based. So they're in close proximity to your chapter. And what that means is that they have a good idea of the community as a whole as well. So they can not only tell you how to lead your chapter, but they can also give you insight on, well, in this region, these are the challenges that the community faces. Are you addressing those challenges? And so I'm hugely grateful, and the entire Google team is hugely grateful to our mentors. And here's the lineup of the beautiful mentors that we have. Again, if you haven't met your mentors, please make sure to do so today and spend some time. We have a workshop session set up, so that way we can have you all meet your mentors. But I am going to ask the mentors to stand up as I call out the region, just so if you haven't seen them, you get to see them. So can we have Laurence and Greg please stand up?
Fitting the Canada's first.
Canada, there we go. They're Canadians. Then we have two from Midwest, Dan and Patrick.
Mid-best.
Mid-best, there you go. Yeah. Dan, Patrick. Northeast, we have Ava and Rainier. Rainier's not here. There's Ava. There we go. Pacific, Vikram and Matt. There's Matt, there's Vikram. South, Hendrix and Tim. There's Hendrix, there's Tim, there it is. We also have mentors for the WTM ambassadors, so that's Stacy and Neem. There's Neem, there's Stacy. And for our mountain region, Sheldon and Cassidy. There we go, there's Cassidy. Sheldon's not here right now. So a huge thank you to them, but I'm gonna emphasize on this. Please make sure to be in regular touch with them. Lately, I think just in January, I met with a few GDG organizers, and it was a shock to me to realize that they didn't know who their mentors were. They haven't had a conversation with them. Make sure to do that. That's extremely, extremely important. Here are all the new GDG leads that we have. Here are all the chapters. We're growing. We're growing a lot. And so, once, like I said earlier, thank you. But recognize that you're part of, and I'm stealing a terminology from Tim right now, you're part of the 2020 graduation class. Right? This is your group that you've come in at the same time. And so it'd be great. This entire event is to interact, meet with other folks as well, connect with them, network with them, see what they're doing, see what their challenges that they're facing. Now, when you're doing this, when you decided to sign up for this, I'm really curious, why be a GDG organizer? And as opposed to me sharing kind of what our thoughts are on that, I'd love to put this out to the audience. Anyone want to be the first one to put their hand up and say why they decided to be a GDG organizer? Oh, perfect. This is not a shy bunch. Let's start here. Go ahead.
So I was one of the organizers back in India as well, so I'll start from there rather than here. So here I am.
Thank you.
I was one of the community organizers in India as well, so I'll start with that story first. So it's like when I first saw on Meetup that there's like an event by Google, I started attending.
Yeah, it's working.
Okay. Then when I attended, I first stuck for the pizza. Makes
Fair.
sense. Like I think every one of us has had that motivation at some point of time. Yeah, I was like, okay, not feeling like eating home food. Let's eat pizza. Go to this Google event. But when I was actually there, I realized that this is like a good thing. Like we are giving back to the community. So immediately from the next event, I started volunteering for them, and eventually became like I started liking it, and I was an active contributor as a volunteer. So became an organizer over there. Then I moved to Canada in Sudbury, Northern Ontario. And there was a GDG there, but it's like 12 kilometers away from the city. So not a lot of people were able to physically attend it because it's always snowing and it's not really feasible to travel 12 kilometers, and the bus system is not really the best. So we decided to start a GDG cloud within the city. And yeah, we have had 2 events, and relatively it's been a big success. Like more than 30 people attended the first 2 events, which is a big thing in a city of like 150,000 people.
Awesome. Thank you. And the key takeaway for me was that I went to one, and I love the way you put it. It's so simple. This is a good thing. This is actually good. Let's try to replicate that. So thank you for sharing. You were the second hand. Did you still like to? Yes.
I think we had a similar story because even I started out with going to GDG event in Mumbai,
Okay.
India. So I actually went out with my ex-boyfriend. He took me there to GDG Mumbai, and I went to one of the events, which was Android Summit.
Okay.
And just one event had so much of impact on me that when I came to Canada, the first thing I did was search for a GDG event or meetup page.
Love it.
Yeah. But I was in London before, and there was no GDG chapter in London, Ontario. So I wanted to start there, but the thing was someone had already started, and they did not organize an event, but they had initiated it. So I was on hold whether to start on GDG London or not. But then they set up an event, and I was scrapped. So then I moved for my master's in Thunder Bay, and there I started a chapter, a new chapter, fresh chapter, and it was a huge event because in Thunder Bay, we don't have such events where developers and other professionals can come and get together and learn from Google and talk about technologies like AI, Flutter. So it was a huge step for us both because we have never organized many events before. And now that we are doing it, many people are getting benefits from it. Not only us students, but many professionals. They come here and they are like, wow, this is such a good event you started. And there are good speakers to talk about on the topic. So, yeah.
Got it. Thank you so much. I think.
Add on to her.
By all means.
Everyone says that you made an impact in their lives and the society.
Right.
And one of the person of GDE told us, once you get into GDG, there is no way out.
You're stuck. Sorry.
And I believe that.
It's true. So many themes out of these comments. So thank you so much for sharing that. I was going to highlight and emphasize on impact again. Absolutely. We're talking about this being a good thing. We're talking about this being impactful. That's exactly how we feel about it. That it's about making an impact. It's about making a difference. And again, Kubra is going to talk a little bit more about it on why we do this and so on. But I wanted to share one more thing, and I'm definitely out of time. But why does Google do this? Right? When we talk about Google, so you have your reasons. Why does Google do this? I'm going to be very transparent. Yeah, this is a great thing. We're supporting these groups. We do sponsorship, allow you, and giving you the latitude to run it as you like. What's in it for Google? And I'd love to always say nothing. We're doing it because this is a good thing to do. It has big impact. There's more to it. And that is simple. Feedback. Our team is in a very unique position where we have hooks into every single product and service that Google is involved in. And as a result of that, when you are running your events, when you are dealing with the community, as you get feedback and, hey, this was a great cloud study jam, but XYZ is broken. This doesn't make sense. I work for this company, and you know what? We're going with AWS because Google Cloud doesn't work for us. We want to hear that. We're going with cloud as opposed to another offering. We want to hear that. We want to hear why. Because what we do is we take that feedback and give it to the product and say, hey, this is on the field information that's extremely important for you all to hear. And so that is our vested interest. I am going to ask all of you to keep this in mind throughout the entire day and throughout your entire journey as a GDG organizer. What is your goal? And as I ask you to think about this, I'm going to remind you of one thing. Your goal doesn't equal the community goal. And that's a key priority of what you need to be able to actually find out. You could have your own personal goals, but you're actually responsible to figure out what is it that the community needs. The reality is, you saw the first few slides, there's a handful of Googlers out there that are working on this. You're all on the ground representing your community. If you realize, and it could be anything, and let's not, one of the myths is that as a GDG organizer, you can only talk about Google products. No. If your community needs information on a competing product, as a GDG organizer, give that information to them. As a GDG organizer, if you realize that in my community, the biggest challenge is not the technology, it's how to land a job. How do we teach networking skills, applied skills? Then serve that purpose. Make sure your content is suitable for that. Make sure you get the content that gives them the skill set that they need to get the jobs that they need. Now, as you're making your goals, I always love sharing this. A lot of you probably have heard this already. Make sure your goals are smart, specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-based. Now, make sure you also remember this. Having a goal isn't enough. A goal without a plan is just a wish. Make sure you put a plan behind your goal and be very specific about what your goal is, what the community goal is. Now, if I had time, I was going to ask all of you to take 5 minutes right now to write down your goal. But instead, I'm going to say throughout the day, as you're having conversations, as you're meeting new people, share. One of the first questions you should ask when you meet someone new is, hey, you joined as a GDG organizer? What's your goal? In this region, what's your goal? Be ready to share your own and be ready to ask the same question. Now, I'll take a few questions right now. I am already over time, but hopefully it'll be helpful. I can take a few questions and then I'm going to hand it off to Cuba, who's going to go into a lot more detail about everything else. Any questions? If there's no questions, that's awesome too.
What's your goal, Naveen?
That's my goal. That's awesome. Thank you so much, Greg. So for me, the big thing was developer reach. And let me actually be broader than that. Reaching out to the community. So for me, it's not just a matter of getting more chapters, but getting a solid base, a membership base within each chapter. So what that means is if we have hundreds and hundreds of chapters, but each chapter only has 5 to 10 people that show up on the regular in their meetups, what do we do to get that to be more? And it's not that that's a problem. That is a reality. If that is the case, that's fine. But what do we need to do to increase that, to strengthen those chapters, strengthen that membership base? So that's a big piece of me to identify the issue and solve that. But when I talk about developer reach, it's also about expanding our audience base. As you saw, we're looking at doing more with entrepreneurs now as well. And how do we solve those problems? Recognizing those audiences and having solutions for those audiences. If all of you can help us solve those problems and identify those, we'd be hugely grateful. Any other questions? All right. I'm going to pass it on to Kubra, who's going to take over from here.
Cool. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Naveen.